At AWS, we're reinventing communications together, bringing the most advanced and secure cloud services, deepest telecom partner ecosystem, and fastest rate of innovation, enabling CSPs to transform into digital service providers that innovate, develop, and operate an almost unlimited range of new services, reducing cost and time to market at every opportunity, while delivering on the promise of 5G and beyond. Visit aws.amazon.com to learn more.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Newman, Chief Analyst at TM Forum. Delighted to be joined today by Fabio Chiarone. Fabio, who is the Managing Director of the Telco Business Unit EMEA within AWS. Good afternoon to you, Fabio.
Good afternoon, Mark. Nice to see you.
And Fabio and I both participated in a lively discussion yesterday in the CXO Summit on the closing day of DTW 2021. And it was a discussion all around the B2B customer experience in a 5G era. And Fabio and I were joined by Steve Szabo. Steve is the VP for the business services at Verizon, and by Anthony Rodrigo. Anthony, who's the Group CIO at Axiata, which is a telco in Southeast Asia. There's myself, there was Nick Willits, and there was Daniel Stecklenburg from the Bain practice in Amsterdam. So we divided this section into sort of three broad categories, and we initially started talking about what exactly can telcos do to get closer to their B2B customers. And Fabio, I think you discussed with the panel some of your thoughts, I guess, based on AWS's broader background across multiple verticals.
Yeah. So you see, Mark, I would start from a couple of data points that we shared yesterday. The first one coming from Bearing Point, that is showing us that the telco service providers are losing share in terms of mobile private network solutions sold to the enterprises, moving from 27% down to 16%. This is the first important data point. The second data point that we have as AWS is that despite the tectonical shift to cloud that we are seeing, the cloud percentage of penetration is still extremely low, 4%. Now, this is telling us something. This is telling us that on one side, the enterprises and the SME are not focusing only on connectivity services, or at least not any longer. They are going through a deep digital transformation to become more efficient, to become more agile, to become more innovative, to make sure that they will make their end customer experience much simplified, automated, personalized. And what they are doing essentially is to use the cloud technology that has demonstrated to be the key triggering point for innovation and for efficiency, freeing up capability to really fail quickly, but also to innovate quickly. Now, the key recipe here then for the service providers is to acknowledge this big shift that their customers are undergoing. And so in order for them to get closer to that transformation, they should do two things. So on one side, acknowledge that they need to move from a pure communication service provider space to a technology platform space, adopting a technology platform that can enable them to build solutions that go beyond connectivity. And again, we believe that this platform is exactly the same platform that their customers are using. The moment that you as telco, you see, Mark, I will stop here, you go.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So even though in the session we started talking about customer experience, we inevitably ended up talking about the products and services and the role that telcos can play. And Fabio, you talked then about this need to move beyond connectivity. And I know that AWS, so you have some thoughts about what the more ambitious telcos can do in terms of genuinely building the products that customers want.
Yeah, that is exactly the key point, Mark. So the key question here is, what do we sell? As telco service providers, what do we want to sell beyond connectivity? And again, you need to put yourself in the shoes of your customers. And then if your customers have decided to migrate to cloud to become more efficient, then you as telco, you need to create the competencies to target that growth. So you need to position yourself for selling consultancy services, system integration services, migration services, fully managed services for this migration. Now, we as AWS, we want to build this go-to-market model jointly with the telco service providers. If you look at what we have done with Orange Business Services or T-Systems, is exactly what we are enabling them to do. And it's all about creating the right competences. So the telco service providers need to acknowledge that they need to hire builders. Because if you want to build solutions to target your enterprise's needs, you need to have builders. So the competence shift is absolutely fundamental.
And it was kind of inevitable in the session yesterday, given that there was AWS and two telcos, it was inevitable we'd end up with a discussion around partnering. And partnering is a big theme for telco. It's a big part of what you're doing. So we had quite a broad discussion around what's needed for successful partnerships. And I guess what's interesting is, from the AWS perspective, is that this is what you do. I mean, your business is partnering with operators, with SIs. So, I mean, I don't know if you have any specific perspectives on what telcos need to do to be successful in those partnerships.
Yeah, Mark, it's an important shift. So what we are saying here is that to be successful, the telco service providers need to acknowledge that this will be a partner-driven, ecosystem-driven new business model, or actually new business models. Yeah? And to do that, you need to open up yourself. So it's not any longer a relation between a vendor and a customer, but it's a relation possibly frictionless between peers, between partners, where you can co-create. And what is super important is that we don't need to be cloud arrogant. The telco service providers need to be not telco arrogant, if you understand what I mean. So it's all about acknowledging that we learn from each other. So I want to mention to you a great example. We quickly talked about it yesterday. And it's about what we have been doing with Deutsche Telekom, JEDICE, it's public. The press release went out 1 month ago. So they have been asking us to support them to speed up the hiring and embarking of software designer, helping them to modernize their application landscape and possibly use these software designers to go to the market to sell the same thing. And we engaged with them to do exactly this. So this is the kind of partnership where you work as peers and you leverage the best competences of each other. So, the key metrics are the level of co-investment that we want to do, and the level of commitment in putting to the market new solutions. So we have a program that we mentioned yesterday, you might remember, the 10 by 10. It's another brilliant example about how speed disproportionately matters. 10 by 10 is nothing else than saying, guys, let's work together to bring 10 new solutions to the market in 10 weeks. So we parachute our A-team, professional service team. They work hand in hand with the telco service providers. We work backward from the customer needs. We go, we prototype, we make a minimum valuable product, and then we assess if it is ready to be launched or not. But this is the kind of speed, agility that the cloud technology enables. And this is the kind of agility that you need to embrace when you want to go through a partner-led, business-driven partnership.
Well, thank you so much, Fabio. It was a great discussion yesterday, and you've done so much in the last year with telcos that I sense that the speed of partnerships is accelerating. So thanks for your time yesterday. Enjoyed our discussion, and I hope to speak to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.